I'd be interested to hear your opinion, but I would say it's probably the best Raw I've seen since maybe the Monday after WrestleMania.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but it was certainly very, very, very good. I just really enjoyed the Raw that you mentioned, but tonight was very good, nonetheless. Can I ask you a question though? And I don't, people probably think this is weird. It's my first question about the show, and this is what stands out to me because I do agree with you. It was an awesome Raw, and I know you texted me. It was a great start to the show, and we'll go into that because it was an awesome start to the show. But I don't know if the crowd was heel because they certainly weren't because they're behind Daniel Bryan and what have you. But did I hear wrong? Was the crowd like completely behind New Day and actually saying New Day rocks, even though the announcers were trying to make it like they weren't?
I don't think so. To be honest with you, I was not sitting up close to the TV for that. I think they were still giving them the heel shit they deserved during that. I think that New Day came out and busted out some new dance moves tonight, so that might have got the crowd over in their favor a little bit more than we're used to. But I think that I think that they're just the crowd was hot tonight. The crowd was hot, like no doubt about
Right.
that. So I think that they were cheering and booing for every which way, everything that needed to be cheered and booed. So I think that they were going nuts for that, and it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I thought they were saying New Day rocks. I was listening. I'm like, man, the crowd's like really behind New Day. They were definitely hamming it up, and it's very clear to me, watching New Day, who got the win over the Matadors tonight. It's very clear to me the New Day should be the tag team champions. They're by far the most over tag team, whether they're heel, face, whatever. They're over the top. They're good workers. I'm really, and I gotta say the Matadors did a nice job in that match tonight, and the crowd was even feeling them. They were getting into the Olay stuff, so the Matadors put on a good show tonight. This was one of the better matches I've seen them have. So I think New Day should walk out for the Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania, or excuse me, SummerSlam. It's New Day versus the Lucha Dragons versus Primetime Players versus the Matadors. But I really, really was into the New Day, and I think they're really coming into their own. I really think, not that they weren't, but they really, to me, just stand out. What do you think?
You know what? I question a little bit of why the tag team matchup, and I want to get your opinion on this, why the tag team matchup at the pay-per-view is going to be the New Day versus Primetime Players versus the Lucha Dragons versus Los Matadors. What are your thoughts on that? Is everybody just getting a paycheck for this at this pay-per-view, or what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I kind of think that might be what they're doing. The reason I kind of have a problem with it, I would have rather them beat the Lucha Dragons tonight and then had it just be 3 ways maybe with the Matadors. Because if you recall, WrestleMania pre-show, there was a Fatal 4-Way tag team match. Or it was a 3-way match. It was Matadors, New Day, and Cesaro and Kid. It might even have been 4-way. So, like, we've seen that before. And then at the Elimination Chamber, we had, like, 6 tag teams in that. It's like, it's been done. So, like, you're really working to build a tag team division. And I think there's a good rivalry going between Primetime Players and New Day. I don't think you need to put those other 2 tag teams in unless you're going to have them win. And they're clearly not going to have them win because for as much as they could, the New Day won pretty clean over Matadors. There was some shenanigans on the outside, but not enough to. I mean, it was like a clean heel win. It's as clean as they're going to get. I agree with you. I think it's disappointing. I'd rather just see New Day and Primetime go at it. I see New Day walking away with the belts. Definitely.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I'd say it's a toss-up between those 2 teams. I really don't see either of the other teams in the match taking this. I mean, if it was maybe a elimination match where like every team got eliminated, I almost wouldn't mind seeing the Lucha Dragons and the Matadors eliminated in the first 5 minutes and then have the rest of the match go for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Well, I look at it this way. If a show's so hot that we're excited about a New Day versus Matadors match and we think it was a good match and the crowd was into it, it tells you that the show was an awesome show and it definitely started out hot. And I got to tell you, when Seth Rollins came out and basically was just kind of mocking John Cena, I really thought this was going absolutely nowhere and nowhere fast. And I was kind of like, oh boy, here we go again. And when he said we have John Cena via teleconference and via satellite, and the picture of John Cena showed up, and it was the nose to the side, and and they had the voiceover. I have to say, from that point on, the segment was incredible.
Yeah, you know what? I even liked the beginning of it where he had catchy, I'm gonna call them rock-esque lines where you can't see me, stuff like that. Like even before he put the picture of him up, I thought that was pretty cool. I thought his mic work is head and shoulders gotten a lot better since he's become champion, and
Right.
and to go a step further, since the Authority does not come out with him anymore, I'm going to say the same thing. I mean, it's even better. Like he can handle. He was out there for probably good 5-10 minutes, and he had a crowd eating out of his hand.
He's just comfortable out there now. Like they trusted him for a while. They let him go out. They've given him an opportunity to run with it. And just when you trust somebody and you give them that spot, naturally they're going to just be desensitized to going out there. Something as stupid as the first time we were on this podcast. I remember I was like really nervous, like, oh geez, can I think of enough stuff to talk about to keep a show going? But you do it enough, anything, repetition, you get comfortable. And Seth Rollins, I mean, it's just obvious he's comfortable out there. He's not perfect, but he's good. And when you give him a good content like tonight, it was hysterical. I thought the John Cena voiceover was really funny. But when the John Cena voiceover said that Seth Rollins kicked his ass so bad that he's going back to Tough Enough to start from the beginning, I just thought that was awesome. It was such a disrespect to Tough Enough on top of all of it. I thought it was
and no one else was cool when he was like, he went over to the side and he was like pretending like he was talking to somebody. He's like, wait, John Cena's here, and he's like sort of freaking out, like having like a 3-second meltdown there. It's like, oh wait, via satellite, and that was just awesome, dick heel move, and it was great. He pulled it off, and he had every 12-year-old in the crowd with a hard on for about 5 seconds.
People were laughing though, like everybody thought it was funny, so it was a cool segment, and it was like so stupid that it was hysterical. Like it was really funny.
Yeah, much better than Roman Reigns' attempts at humor in the past with the Big Show or whoever else he's.
So Rollins, as he's making fun of Cena, he has no challenge. He's cut off by Cesaro, and I have to say, Cesaro came out. He's in his suit. He looks pissed off, and I'm like thinking to myself, "Wow, they're gonna actually do a Cesaro Rollins open challenge title match tonight." I was like marking out. I'm like, wow, this is going to be a good match. And, who knows with Cena out of the picture, maybe he'll walk out with the belt, but not so fast. Seth Rollins says there will be no open challenge tonight. He's not putting his title on the line against anybody. Calm down, Cesaro. And Cesaro was like, you say the same stuff over and over and over again. It's boring. And you go on and on and on and on. You just keep saying that over and over. And the crowd was laughing. Well, Kevin Owens comes out and he said, none of you guys, Cesaro doesn't deserve a title shot. I do, because I did something none of you can do. I beat John Cena. So I'd like a title shot. And I should get a title shot. But before Rollins could really get going and respond to him, out comes Randy Orton, who says, no. If anybody's getting a title shot, I got an idea. It should be me getting a title shot. And I didn't really like what Randy Orton then did. He then ripped Cesaro and said, nice suit or whatever. And then he said, Kevin Owens, what are you putting on some weight? And Kevin Owens goes, no. And the way Randy Orton cut him off, it made Owens kind of look weak. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the way that went.
You know what? I think that the rest of the segment that wasn't the strongest point of it. I didn't like that either. I mean, Kevin Owens is a badass. He's definitely proved that. But I think
nobody should be making fun of Kevin Owens' weight at this point. You know what? When he first came in, I understand that. But I think he's proven himself already that, okay, he's legit. He's a great worker. And he's not blowing up in the ring because he's obese. He can work a match without wet rest holds. I mean, he's a good worker. So I don't even want to hear that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was sort of it was just sort of cheap heat. I mean, it's okay with the Big Show when he's wrestling like the opening match at some third-rate pay-per-view. But I mean, as far as this leading up to SummerSlam, and I mean, I think that you and I have both expressed that we think that the Cesaro Kevin Owens match that's coming up is going to be absolutely spectacular and possibly steal the show.
I agree.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't even want to say steal the show because I think that the Lesnar Undertaker match will be given the biggest opportunity, but that one might be given the second biggest opportunity there.
I can't even
really looking
at Lesnar.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can't even really look at the Lesnar Undertaker feud unless it's in front of me. And it's frustrating that it's not in front of me. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, they did have a very good. I did enjoy the promo they had, and they're having an even longer segment. But they had a longer segment after a show, sort of going back to it to build it up. But they had a decent little segment in the show. I mean, I think they probably could have got away with even a 5-10 minute summary of this to really just get the crowd going. I mean, they would have been entertaining for Raw to go back and revisit everything. But I think that for the most part, considering you don't have either of them on the show, they did a decent job of talking it up enough between other superstars. But to be honest with you, I mean, we've known that match was happening since the last pay-per-view. I'd rather have this, because I think we were even saying last week, we don't have a card filled out right now. We can tell you, heck, there's a lot of matches we think are going to happen. And over the last week, we've actually had those matches come together. So, I mean, now we have Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus the Wyatts. We have a tag team match after tonight. I do like this booking because I feel like Wade Barrett. I feel like Cody Rhodes needs some cheap heat, and Wade Barrett is sort of lost in jobbing to Neville all the time. So I even like this.
We'll get to that because I have a lot to say about that segment. No, let me ask you, when you saw, what wound up happening is the Authority came out and they booked Orton, Owens, and Cesaro in a match night where the winner would get Rollins at the end of the night for the title. How did you feel about the quality of match that Owens, Cesaro, and Orton put on together in a triangle match?
Oh man, this was an unbelievable match. I mean, it was probably 20 something minute match, and it was spectacular. I mean, there were just multiple spots that were just getting. I mean, it was just holy shit. I had a feeling that Orton was going to pull it out, but at the same time, there's nothing really. There's nothing. It wasn't given away that he was going to pull it out. I feel like any of those competitors could have won, and it was it was a spectacular match. I mean, they all brought their A game.
Who did you think was going to win?
I think that I thought that Orton was going to win because I figured, and this didn't necessarily go down the way I thought it, but I thought it was going to be eventually Cesaro, Kevin Owens just sort of erupting into an absolute battle and just going at it, and whether they get counted out or do something stupid and one gets the other person pinned by Orton. So I thought that Orton was going to win. I just thought it was going to be a little bit different than he did.
I actually didn't think he was going to win. I thought that Cesaro or Owens would get RKO'd, and then the person who didn't get RKO'd would immediately knock down Orton and steal the cheap win. That's what I thought would happen to prolong their feud, and then they would have got screwed at the end of the night. Or maybe they would pull it off. I didn't know, but I was pretty sure Orton wasn't going to win. So I was quite surprised. And Orton won, although the match, I agree, was very competitive and it was a great match. Orton did have a kind of dominant finish. He RKO'd both guys and pinned Cesaro. I mean, that's a pretty decisive win, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, that sort of put it away as like, hey, you know what? He's ready for the main event. I think the one reason that I thought that Orton would win is because you can tell me what your opinion is on this, but I think I already know the answer. But if you're looking at the Kevin Owens versus Cesaro matchup at SummerSlam versus the Randy Orton and Sheamus match, which match before tonight started got you more excited? By a long shot, because I know the answer.
Owens.
Exactly. So I think that they did a good job of helping to build the Orton-Sheamus feud. Like, I had no doubt that Orton was going to have a chance, and it looks like he's going to win in the main event. And we can get into that later. But I felt like Orton needed his feud advanced a little bit more, so I liked the way the rest of the night played out.
Oh, Sheamus is a dick, man. I mean, we'll go right to it. So, Orton wins that match, gets the world title shot. He owned Seth Rollins in that match. I mean, he was going to win the title. It was almost exactly the same as the Lesnar finish. Orton had it won, and, you know, Rollins is like, I get the chicken shit heel thing, but he's been looked really weak in some of his bigger matches. I mean, the only one I think he really legitimately won was the Ambrose match, where he came down in the kind of the tie but pulled the belt away. Like, that was a good win for Rollins. But every match with Orton was bullshit, especially the Hell in the Cell one with Kane. You know, I don't get why they make him look this way, because it's not going to be like a big deal when anyone takes the title off him, because it's like he's weak and it's just a matter of time until someone gets a clean match, you know?
Yeah. You know what though? I feel like he's weak, but he's not. I feel like his wins have been weak, or him retaining the title has been weak. I feel like he stepped up to the challenges in this stuff.
Right. He's initially afraid to fight, but then when he talks to Triple H, like tonight, he'll be like, you know what, you're right. I want the shot. I want to take this match. So you're right. He eventually overcomes his fear and he will fight. I'm with you there, but I don't know. I just think, you know, Orton should have won the belt tonight. I mean, that's it. I mean, like the way the match went. I mean, I know that didn't happen, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he dominated the match, and I mean, it wouldn't have been hard to see him win it, but I think that it was almost where even like everybody in the crowd knew, hey, you know what, it's going to be Rollins is going to retain it, because he's not going to screw up pay-per-view for this match, and it was just too perfect with Sheamus getting involved.
Yeah, you know what was weird though? Like Rollins was pretty busy himself. I never heard this before, but I was really surprised about this. The world champion wrestles a dark match to start the show, not the go home match, you know, to send the fans home happy. Local talent from the state of Washington, Brent Grablachoff, gets a non-title match against world champion Seth Rollins and wins by disqualification.
Wow, that's some interesting stuff. I was reading the dirt sheets on that, and I think this young Grablachoff kid, he's really an up and comer.
What can you tell us about Grablachoff?
Well, this kid, a former Division I college football star, he walks the walk and talks the talk. He hails from Island Heights, New Jersey.
Really? He's a Jersey boy?
Yeah, he's a Jersey boy. Grew up close to where you and I grew up, actually. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, quite the young stallion. I think he has a real future in the business.
All right, we'll be on the lookout for the up and coming star Brent Grablachoff, who had a big night tonight. But you know, so yeah, Sheamus pulls pulls Orton out of the ring, gets Orton disqualified, then decides he's going to cash in Money in the Bank. Yeah, right. Like, Orton's going to let you do that. Orton destroys him. And it was just no one looked, I don't know. I think everybody looked bad. I really do. I think everybody looked bad.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't like when Sheamus was trying to cash in the Money in the Bank, where he basically handed a ref the case and then was like holding it and shaking it without giving it to him for like 5 seconds. And it was really awkward, and I think it was sort of like, okay, he's just waiting for Orton to come up and spear him or freaking tackle him or punt him or whatever he needs to do to stop this from happening. But it was just a really awkward, like, it was like a solid 5 seconds where he's just like, he had the case in the ref's hand and he's like shaking it, holding it, going back and forth. He's like, yeah, cash it in, and holding it while the ref's trying to cash it in for him. So that was a little awkward.
Yeah, but if the ref just rang the bell, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have sucked for Sheamus. Big time.
Yeah, but then we don't have to see him as champion.
What's that?
Then we don't have to see him as champion.
I don't think we'll see him as champion.
I hope you're right.
I'm really hopeful I'm right, because he's not championship material. I'd like to see him cash it in and maybe win like the tag team championship or something like that. But yeah, as far as a WWE championship, I really don't want to see it happen, and I don't think it will.
Yeah, I hear you. How about all that Wyatt Ambrose Reigns stuff tonight? What you make of all that? I'm not really too excited about all this.
You know what? I like it because I think it's putting Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns back in a situation where they can get, and not that, I think that Roman Reigns, he's had a little bit more work to do as far as getting over to crowd and working on mic work and really building up a feud. I've sort of enjoyed these promos. I think they're getting better. They're not at Seth Rollins level, but I think it's helping, of all people, I think it's helping Reigns the most. And it'll be interesting to see where they go. I almost feel like there could be some sort of a heel turn or something with Roman Reigns possibly against Dean Ambrose at this pay-per-view, just because I don't necessarily...
Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, I don't necessarily see it just being a clean finish to the match, because I think that Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose will win. Or, I'm sorry, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns will win, unless there is some sort of a swerve at the finish.
Can I ask you a question? Somebody asked Stephanie McMahon recently if they thought there would ever be in honor of Caitlyn Jenner, there would be a transgender WWE wrestler. And she answered back very, very quickly, which I find funny. There's no need for one at the moment.
Why? Well, I was going to say, I thought we had, what's her name? China back in the day.
No, seriously, like, what a ridiculous question. Like, why? Why would you even think to ask that question?
Yeah, that's sort of weird.
We're pretty close, though, with Sasha Banks, which is nice. So, Team Bad took on the Bellas tonight with the Submission Sorority at ringside.
No, they have a new name now.
Submission Sorority.
It's a new name, I think.
No, it is, but
I was reading on the internet that Submission Sorority is like a porn site or something.
Yeah, that's why I like the name.
Okay. No, I'll go with it. Submission Sorority. I haven't been to the site, but it sounds pretty enticing. Sounds sort of like a 50 grades of Shay for college kids.
Submission Sorority.
I like it.
I figured you'd like that name.
Yeah. So anyway, this match, it was all right. Who were the wrestlers facing off in this match? I'm not even sure.
Who were the what?
Who faced off in this? Was it Nikki Bella?
It was 3 Bellas. Well, Fox Bella and the other 2 Bellas versus the Tamina, Sasha Banks, and Naomi. And I have to say, as much as I like, first off, Alicia Fox has no business being in WWE ring, but the Bellas are good, and Tamina's awesome. I like Tamina, and Sasha Banks is probably the best wrestler they have in the female division. Naomi needs to go, man. She's horrible. I am not entertained by her. I think she's loud and obnoxious, and I find her zero attractive. How about that?
Speaking of which, what happened to the Usos and Ascension? What happened to them?
You could send Naomi with the Usos. You could just put them where you found them. I could do without all of them. However, I do like the submission sorority.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead after watching her tonight, Charlotte. I'm gonna go ahead and call her sexy thick.
No, she's like a little tiny wafy.
Nah, I did a double take too. I thought that's what it was. I mean, she's fairly skinny, but she's pretty freaking stout.
No,
she's not Mickey James.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just tired of the whole thing. You know, I want them to start breaking off into singles matches.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to wait till after WrestleMania for that, because one of the matches announced for WrestleMania is sure enough going to be all three factions against each other.
Not for WrestleMania, SummerSlam.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. They're building it, although they are building a show up. I like it that they're building a show up. It almost has a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania feel to it.
The submission sorority will win. And by the way, I had 14,266 steps today on my Fitbit.
Wow, that's submission sorority material right there.
I love the submission sorority.
Yeah, I would do things to Ric Flair's daughter that he would only do to other chicks half his age.
Well, here's the thing. I find Becky Lynch oddly, and not that she's not attractive, but I find her oddly attractive. There's something about Becky Lynch that I like.
Really? Okay. That's interesting. I still think, I think no matter what, right now we have Nikki Bella is the number one in the Divas division for all intents and purposes.
You go, John Cena.
Yeah, you know what? You deserve it, man. And so I can't even hate. I mean, she's freaking, she blows it away. But I'm thinking that Becky Lynch and Charlotte are right there at 2A and 2B.
Do you love John Cena?
I love what John Cena is doing to Nikki Bella.
But are you a John Cena fan? Do you wear the vets?
Do I wear the stupid t-shirts and wristbands and hats? No. Do I love what he's been doing since WrestleMania? Yes.
Never give up.
Open challenge, bitch.
What is that like little towel that he comes out with that always says never give up? Is that like a jerk towel?
Probably. I have a couple jerk towels like that size.
I think we all have had a jerk towel in our car. So that way, like, if you're with a chick or something, you have that to help clean up the mess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's sort of what you do.
I'm kidding. I'm only joking. That's the joke. What is a comedy show?
Yeah, but yes, I do have jerk towels.
It's
like a terrible towel for John Cena because it's neon and says "Never give up" or "Can't see me" or "Hustle, loyalty, and respect." So really motivational talk there.
Never give up.
Never, ever, ever give up. But anyway, so I liked a lot of Raw. I liked it a lot. What parts did you not like?
I didn't like the whole Wyatt thing and Ambrose and Reigns. I think it's been done. It's redundant, and I'm not really understanding what the feud's all about. I mean, I guess the feud is about that Wyatt can't stand Reigns and he won't be the chosen one and he's going to ruin his life. However, that happened already, and now for some reason Ambrose is involved and Luke Harper's involved. However, I did like the Luke Harper-Ambrose singles match where Luke Harper won with his discus clothesline with a little bit of Bray Wyatt interference on the outside. I don't know. I thought it was a big win for him. More jobbing for Ambrose, but it was cool to see Harper get a good win like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it makes it more believable that the Wyatts will win at
definitely, yeah. But I have no problem with Luke Harper winning. I mean, Luke Harper's solid. I mean, Luke Harper's good, man. Yeah.
And it sort of builds up the feud. It builds up the feud between both tag teams. So I think that it served its purpose.
What would you think of a nude nude showdown between Ambrose and Harper if they just decide to have a match in the buff on the pay-per-view?
I don't know if I'd be watching that.
You wouldn't want to see Luke Harper nude?
No.
I would. I would like to see
nude with beard or nude without beard?
I got an idea. A match where the only way to win it is putting your opponent in the accolade, okay? And it's a nude match between Rusev and Harper. And you have to use the accolade to win. Oh my. How awesome would that be?
That would be an interesting matchup. Speaking of interesting upcoming matchups, the two matches I'm really not looking forward to that I think we're getting force fed, or at least one of them we will, is going to be Daniel Bryan versus Big Show versus Ryback. And Ryback had his triumphant return this week, and people were happy. What? What'd I say?
You said Daniel Bryan.
Oh, well, sorry. Yeah, I've been thinking of Daniel Bryan a lot lately, and he was in the Miz TV episode. But yeah,
I don't like how you're dismissing me. You wouldn't want to see the nude accolade match?
You know what? I think it'd be an interesting match.
Could you imagine the sweaty man ass of Rusev, balls and all, on the back of Harper?
You know what? I think he'd get rid of both of his ring girls for
what if Rusev, like let me just throw it out this way. What if Rusev sat in low? You know what I mean? Like instead of sitting high on the top of his back, but he sat on the small of the back. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that'd be pretty weird. Not gonna lie.
I think I'd like it.
You know what? We could see something we haven't seen in quite a while since Pat Patterson days.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Barry O knows what that's all about. You know, hell, man, you know, it's nothing. The nude accolade match has happened. There was one in 1989 between Stephanie McMahon and Randy Savage. Savage.
Yeah, I heard. I was gonna say I heard Savage absolutely tore his opponent apart.
Have you been watching Tough Enough?
No.
Then I'll leave that. Where were you going next on Raw? Yeah, the Ziggler thing. So Mark Henry just basically, although it was a disqualification win for Mark Henry, what a piece of crap. I mean, poor Mark Henry, he got his ass kicked again.
It's a good thing he makes like $5 million a year. I'd almost feel bad for him.
Yeah, he really did get beat down, and Lana got beat down in the process and was put in an accolade of all things by Summer Rae. But they were not nude, and I
have to wonder what is home life like for Rusev and Lana these days? Because you know they're married, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, do you think that makes it a little bit more awkward when they go home and they're like, your new on-screen girlfriend put me in a excruciating submission move for 10 minutes?
You know what? I think that the new school of WWE superstars is pretty smart, and I think Rusev and Lana understand that Vince McMahon is a very sick bastard, and he likes putting his talent in positions like this. You know, he enjoys this kind of stuff.
You know what? I'd have to agree with you. Creating a little family strife. He figures he can get little Miss Lana into his office for some TNA at some point, I think.
I have a question.
It'll be interesting. Go ahead.
Google Dolph Ziggler, Nikki Bella, and you can see pictures on pictures of Nikki Bella just like all over Dolph Ziggler. And also you can Google Maria Kanellis, Nikki Bella, Dolph Ziggler. And there was a big hubbub of Dolph being accused, or Maria Kanellis accused of stealing Dolph from Nikki Bella when they were briefly dating. Here, you know, I'm surprised that John Cena has not tried to get Dolph Ziggler kicked out of the WWE.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that, I mean, it's one thing to get rid of Mickie James because she's really nobody and they can blow up their champion a month later.
But his forefather is walking around.
Yeah. You know what? That's going to probably be an awkward situation, but at the same time, I think that Dolph Ziggler is enough. He's almost like I don't want I would definitely keep him a notch below, like a CM Punk. But I mean, it could be something where, okay, Cena gets him fired, and that's the reason, because you know if he's not going to fail, or you hope he's not going to fail a drug test or get kicked out for getting arrested. So I feel like the only way that he'd actually get fired would be a political play by Cena.
True. Hey man, you've known me for a long time, right? I've always loved that phrase, forefather, haven't I? I mean, I've ran with that one for decades.
Yeah, man, you've definitely worn that one out, sort of like forefather would.
Oh, I'm sure I've worn others out too, but forefather was my favorite, one of my favorites.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to see Miz and Big Show and Ryback on the paper. Maybe pre-show.
You're gonna see it.
Shit. I don't know. This crowd's
that Miz Daniel Bryan segment was terrible, horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of the big thing was, hey, Ryback's back, and he can actually wrestle now.
Why does Miz make fun of his own movies?
I don't know. I mean, that's pretty effed up. I mean, I thought his movies were pretty good.
The Marine saga is. I'm telling you, Marine 1 with John Cena, I shit you not, is a really good movie. And I'm telling you, man, I was not expecting that. It's a really good movie.
And that's quite the surprise.
He throws somebody through a glass window of like a skyscraper building on the first floor. It's awesome.
That's pretty badass.
It's John Cena, man. You don't mess with him.
Dude, Super Cena can do whatever he wants.
Dude, in real life, though.
I do like Seth Rollins' new shtick of never shut up and you can't see me and stuff like that. I have a feeling, and I think I was reading this on some of the dirt sheets, that this feud's going to go on for a little bit longer. And I like that. Because I think that they can have a couple good matches out of it. I don't necessarily want it to be something that goes till SummerSlam, but it's something that can keep us going through.
I want John Cena to wrestle in the like. I thought the army shorts were cool because they weren't jean shorts. They're just kind of cool. What's that?
Yeah, you mean the camouflage ones? You mean?
Yeah, those were cool, man.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, it could be. He might come out in them, but what's he doing now? He's doing cargo shorts now, right?
Nah, he's just still doing the jean shorts.
I hate the freaking jean shorts.
I know. I've seen the green cargo shorts. Those aren't that bad. But I just like the army ones. I think they're kind of cool, and it fits his motif. But, say what you will about John Cena, but man, you ran into John Cena on the street, you wouldn't say a word to him, man. He is a bad looking dude, man. I mean, Cena's no joke.
He's a big guy and he's freaking jacked.
He's always pissed off though, too,
Yeah. But you know what? I like it because it's always like, hey, you know what? The fans will boo me. I don't want to get booed. Whatever. Boo me, fuck them. I'm going to put on the best matches. So I sort of like his attitude with it.
Hopefully he'll stay away from the submission sorority.
I don't know. I could see him running submission moves on at least 2 of the 3 of them. I think Paige might be she might be a little out of luck. She might have to slum down to Barrett or something.
Yeah, Wade Barrett, man, he got his ass kicked tonight by Red Arrow himself, Mr. Adrian Neville. I'll say there's a couple things I didn't like about the segment. Adrian Neville made short work of Wade Barrett. Then Stardust. What?
I hated that because he's the freaking king of the ring. And it was literally like a 3-minute match.
And then Wade Barrett, after losing, Stardust comes down and attacks Stephen Amell at ringside. And, and then backstage, like, I'm kind of like, all right, well, Stephen Amell is getting yelled at Green Arrow by Triple H. And then I'm kind of like, Neville looks really, really small, like, and no one's really paying attention to him. I wasn't comfortable with that segment.
Yeah, he's a small guy. So.
And why does Stardust care? Or Wade Barrett pulled Stardust out of the ring and like kind of hugged him and pulled him out? Like, why does Wade Barrett's character give 8 shits about Stardust?
You know what? I think it was just the start. It's lazy booking. I mean, they're like, okay, we're going to.
But Wade Barrett's character doesn't give a shit about anybody. Like, Wade Barrett is like more
Well,
solo.
maybe losing to Neville in 3 minutes flat has given him a little bit more sense of compassion towards people.
Sheamus has Wade Barrett's push. Wade Barrett should have that Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because you could argue, okay, well, somebody else should be king of the ring.
It should have been Wade Barrett.
Exactly. So I wouldn't mind seeing him wrestle title versus title or position versus position, but I have a feeling it's going to happen in like a Walmart parking lot.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not. I don't have high hopes for that match. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be interesting. The good thing is it's not going to be in the pre-show from the looks of things because they're bringing in some higher talent. So who knows? On the bright side, it could push the Miz versus Ryback versus Big Show to the pre-show. So that could be a blessing in disguise.
Right. Well, that really is a show in a whole. I mean, I agree with you. I thought it was a top-notch show tonight. It certainly kept me entertained.
Yeah, I'd say this show is a solid 9. And you know what? There's some hiccups, but I think
10's tough, man. 10's tough. I don't give anything a 10, but it was an awesome show.
Yeah, it was more importantly, it was an awesome show, not because it was a Raw after WrestleMania or a Raw after a pay-per-view, or it was in Chicago, Illinois, the crowd was going apeshit. I mean, it was in Seattle, where the crowd was, or it's actually pretty far outside of Seattle,
yeah,
where they had this. But I mean, for the location where they had in Spokane or whatever, I mean, they had the party going on out there.
But there was no gimmicks and gags either, there was no oh, Bret Hart's back tonight or Shawn Michaels or Rock's here. They didn't need that. They used the roster, who they had, and even without John Cena, they delivered a really great show. I was very impressed. And no Dolph Ziggler.
Exactly. So I don't know.
Two best workers.
And no Undertaker. Surprise for us.
Well, I mean, I think we knew they were going to hold Lesnar and UT back for the last week. They're great when they're on air together with new material, but there's no reason to rehash everything. But I don't know. It should be a good SummerSlam, and the NXT Takeover show should be a good one too.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sort of excited for the NXT show. That's a Saturday night before, right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
And the SummerSlam crew will be on guard, to not get shown up by NXT. But, I don't know. NXT's pretty good, but now they're bringing all the guys up to WWE, so you can only get shown up so much when everybody's up north. But it should be fun nonetheless. Vic, anything you want to plug tonight? Victor.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug tonight?
No.
Okay. Any horse you want to plug?
I want to plug the one, the only American Pharaoh, who may be coming up into your neighborhood later this month, and I may be coming up to see as well. The one, the only, the Pharaoh.
At Saratoga.
Yes.
On the 29th. Be there or be square.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well,
yeah, that's about it. Did you get the stuff I sent you, by the way?
Not yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I thought it was delivered today, though, I'm sad.
It could be. It could be here. We have stuff here. I just didn't open the mail today, so it could be here.
Okay. Yeah, one was like a rectangular envelope, one was like a flat rate envelope.
So it could be here. I just didn't open the mail yet. But I appreciate that. But if you're coming up for Saratoga, you are always welcomed here in the Tensai household. Now, another avid horse racing fan is our own Killer Kev. Killer Kev, anything you want to plug on the network?
I will plug that tomorrow night on the Undisputed Wrestling Show, provided we don't have any issues, we are looking to have Rosie as a guest.
Rosie
still alive?
No, as in former WWE superhero in training Rosie.
I thought he was Umaga.
No.
I thought he was dead.
No. That's his brother, Matt.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
No, he was one of the Usos.
No, I thought he was he
the
a skinny Uso? Or a fat Uso?
No, the Usos are cousins.
Okay.
I thought the Usos are brothers.
The Uso brothers are brothers. They're cousin to Umaga and Rosie.
Okay.
The
Yes.
Rock is Rosie's dad.
No, The Rock is not Rosie's dad.
But Tamina Snuka's cousin, right? That I know.
Yes.
And Roman Reigns is brothers with the Usos and cousins of The Rock.
No.
How's it go then?
He's cousin with The Rock, according to what WWE told us.
God damn it, I am not an expert in genealogy for these people.
Well, they all say they're family.
They are family. They're like one huge giant family. They're not all brothers though. I mean, they're brothers in spirit, they're brothers by wrestling trait, but they're not like brothers.
I thought New Day were brothers.
They're like brothers too.
Primetime Player is also brothers.
They are.
They said they were brothers on TV.
Now that's legit.
I would also assume that
Stop.
what's that?
Don't go one step further.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
He's like a donkey on the ledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Killer Kev has got away with words, man. You're a funny guy, Killer Kev. No, I really don't really understand all the Samoans, and I guess Rosie. I know who he is, and he was with Hurricane, right?
Yes.
I made a comment about Raw, since we're still on Raw reaction, that I'd be interested to get your feelings on. Byron Saxton.
Oh,
This
terrible.
week, he was a lot better on Raw than in the past.
I want him gone. When he was talking about Seth Rollins, getting all, what did he say? He used the term. He like hugged himself and he goes, well, Seth Rollins is getting all humble. Like, I was like, oh god, this is terrible. Byron Saxton stinks. He's gotta go.
He was better this week. He actually had like some opinions that didn't sound really outrageous and really bad. And even had a chant going for him at one point.
Why wouldn't they just
down.
go to the Miz? Why wouldn't they just go to the Miz and be like, listen, Miz, right now, you're not in a big position. Why don't you join these guys in the booth? Miz would be so much better than Byron Saxton. No?
I agree. But
When Miz is shooting on somebody or like, cutting a promo, he's good on the mic. He's really good.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He is. And I mean, who else would we want to trust in that matchup? Who else can trust people with out there?
I hear you. Kev, are you listening?
Yes.
Do you hear what I think I hear in the background?
I don't think you hear what you think you hear.
I thought I heard chicken.
No.
Chickenhead is not come out tonight. He's very soon going to be coming out as soon as we get off the air.
Kev, I want to end one last question. Stone Cold's podcast, that's after Raw, right?
Right.
Has he ever like almost fell asleep during the podcast?
I don't know. I mean, I've only watched. Honestly, I've only watched the two ones that they did live after Raw.
I'm gonna say this: I've listened to Raw Reaction many, many times over the years. My favorite iteration of Goff, Kill Kev, is one of my favorites. You guys never slowed down. It was like a jam session that just wouldn't stop. What was the secret to not falling asleep?
Lots of caffeine intake from me.
How about Goff?
He was on the West Coast, so he's like 3 hours behind.
Oh, it was perfect for Goff. No wonder why he sounded so great on the air. If he hears this, he'll be like, did Angry Tensai just give me a huge compliment? Yes, I did. We're not always in kayfabe. Anyway, well, that's good. Raw Reaction. We liked Raw tonight, which is a good show.
No, that's not what you think it is. That's just Vic snorting a line. Ignore him.
Let's just quit where we're
This
at.
was an actual. Snorting a line in Celebrations was actually a good show, in my opinion.
Yes, let's quit while we're ahead. I think we had a great show tonight. Hopefully we'll get another good one next week, and we thank you all for being loyal Raw Reaction listeners. All 10,922 of you. Thank you so much. This is Big Dick, Angry Tensai, and the Killer Kev of the Angry Marks Content Network. Thank you, and have a great night.